Today, I'm going to show you how you can use this little box here to make your SiMagic gear work on your PlayStation 5. But there are quite a few things that you should know and consider before you go down this route. Let's get started. Before I show you exactly what you need to do to make this whole setup, your SiMagic gear, work on your PlayStation 5s, there are a few things I want you to know and to consider before you perhaps go out and spend money on this, okay? First things first, I bought this little box for £70 from raceanywhere.com. I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. That's just where I got the cheapest price. I paid £70 for it. However, I see these range from 70 to 120. So shop around. There's only one model of a Sigma Convertor, so you can't go wrong just by where you can find it the cheapest. Okay. And then secondly, I will not be going into much detail when it comes to these settings on the Sigma, because that changes the force feedback, how everything feels, and what I think feels amazing driving that, BRZ, you might think differently. So there's a whole section in the SiMagic Discord that covers all this, and you can copy other users' settings and make it how you want. I won't be covering that, but just know there is a whole section that's going to be very helpful for you when you're setting up your base and doing your settings. Now, one thing you do need to consider, every single piece of equipment you connect to have it work on your PlayStation has to be SiMagic gear. You cannot have a SiMagic base, a SiMagic wheel, and then Fanatec pedals or Acertec pedals. Everything has to be SiMagic gear. Now, I did use my P500s on here, and I've also now got my P1000s on here, and yeah, easy peasy, plug and play, and it works. You do have to calibrate your pedals on the computer. That is something you cannot do in the software, okay? So that's one thing I'll show you very briefly. Very easy. So that's not very good. So we're going to come here and we're going to calibrate. Let's say start calibration. And I'm going to push down on the pedals as hard as what I normally would in the PlayStation. Not too hard, just easy peasy. Throttle, and then we'll even just do the clutch as well. And yeah, that is us done. Same with the bass. In the software, set your bass to 100%, because if you've got it in your computer software set to 50%, then even though you're running it at 100% on this converter, you will only be using 50%, if that makes sense. So those are two things to consider. And then just lastly, I want to talk about this bass here, for example. When I am using it on my PC, and I'm using it for iRacing or, Le Mans Ultimate, whatever, the force feedback experience is, I would say, 5 times better. This is not the fault of this bass on the PlayStation. That is just the fact that the PlayStation can only provide as much telemetry to this little bass or any bass you're going to put on here. So one thing to keep in mind, 100% your experience will always be more enjoyable force feedback wise on the computer. Yes, I can feel when the car is losing grip and it slides, but it just feels not as good to me, not as natural as what it would be on the computer. Other than that, would I suggest you go out and buy SiMagic gear just so you can use it on a PlayStation? No. I do think there's other companies that you can buy cheaper, and you're going to have a similar experience racing Gran Turismo or whatever on the PlayStation. However, if you do own a PlayStation and you also happen to own a PC, well then this here is obviously a very, very good selling point, because you can use your SiMagic gear on the PlayStation. Anyway, enough babbling. I'm really enjoying the Gran Turismo 7. I've not played it in ages, you know what I mean? So, yeah, the fact that I can now use it on my gear, wunderbar. Let me show you how. The first thing you want to do is you want to update the Sigma Cortex converter to the latest software, so that all your SiMagic gear will actually work and you can make use of it. So what you do is you take the USB-C cable that they provide you with, and you just simply plug it in at the bottom, and you stick this end into the computer like so, and you can see now the Sigma is on. Next, you now need to go to the SiMagic Discord channel. And yeah, I will link that down below in the description for you. And all you do is you go right down to the bottom. Here you can see on my screen, I'm using my little cursor, and it says Sigma Cortex Converter. You expand that, and then there's 4 options. You want to go to the top option, software releases. At this moment, the latest version is version 1.1.8. So we're going to download that, and you just click here on the zip file, and you say continue to download. Now we're going to open this file. Yeah, you have your software. You just go into the folder and you run. You say more info, run anyway, who cares? And then here you will see a list comes down. Make sure it says Sigma Converter, and it's as easy as hitting the update button. Update complete. Now you can close this window and you can plug out your Cortex converter, and we will go to the PlayStation and hook up all our SiMagic gear. Connecting your Sigma to your SiMagic gear can't be any easier. So step 1, the USB-C port at the bottom, you connect that to your PlayStation. So here I've got my USB cable already plugged into my PlayStation, and that goes in the bottom. Easy peasy. You can see that's it now, powering on. After that, you want to connect your pedals. So connect them in one of the holes at the top, and you just want to connect your wheelbase. And there's 2 extra ports here if you want to use your handbrake or your shifter. I don't have a SiMagic shifter, so it's no point even attaching my handbrake. So I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. And now you just push this button over here, is your home button. And you can see, I'll get this loaded and I'll give you my overall, experience of how it is using the SiMagic gear on a PlayStation. Okay, let's test this out. So I've got my GoPro fitted, and I am in my new Racting rig, and I'm busy reviewing this rig here. So far, so good. But yeah, now it's all about using SiMagic gear on the PlayStation 5. And as you can see, we are loaded. We're about to do a license here. This here is your back button, so your circle. This here would be your X button, and then this here, you just use this funky switch, very easy to navigate yourself around. I believe one of these is triangle, one of these is square, and then this will be your PlayStation home button. So let's just try and get a gold here, because I can see that's still silver. Just from driving around a little bit, I can tell you that even using exactly the same base, it is better to use it on the PC. You can see now my brake is definitely braking much better. Is this going to be a 14.7? No, oof, that's terrible. Let's do it one more time,
2,000 years later.
DOMINATE.
Yes, baby. Okay, changing wheels, easy. Off. And you can see it is as easy as plug and play. Just to summarize very quickly, obviously you have to go and buy this Sigma Cortex converter to make your SiMagic gear work on the PlayStation. Now this is not ideal. Obviously it would be better if you could natively just plug in your SiMagic gear and it works on the PlayStation. However, PlayStation, they cost an absolute gazillion billion dollars generos to get a license. That is why SiMagic has kind of sneakingly done this. This emulates. It's an emulator, so it tricks your base into thinking it's a licensed product by, PlayStation, like a Logitech Pro or a Fanatec base. That's what this kind of does. And yeah, it does it very well. I'm thoroughly enjoying racing on Gran Turismo. Now, talking about Gran Turismo, that's just the game that I really wanted to play. It's a only game that I see content on YouTube about that, and it makes me itch to play. There's no other PlayStation game that I could say for myself that I said, yes, I want to go and I want to go play that. However, of course, if you want to drive F124, if you want to drive rallies, whatever game you download, you will be able to use on the PlayStation using the Sigma and your SiMagic gear. It's not exclusively to GT7, of course. So that is fantastic. My overall experience, listen, I kind of get lost in Gran Turismo. I start racing and before I know it, 2-3 hours have passed. It's, you know, it's only 4 or 5 lap races, but yeah, you really get into it and I really enjoy it. And yes, the force feedback is not nearly as good on there as what it is linking that exact same gear, taking it there and linking it up to the computer. No, it's not. But you know what, honestly, you kind of just get used to it and you like I said, it's a different type of fun. I really enjoy it. I find that a lot less serious, and iRacing, sometimes I just want to, you know, it's just, you know, sim racing is hard at the best of times. It's hard to progress. It's hard to get better. And yeah, sometimes just having something like, you know, GT7, fantastic. Now, I've just literally today, I've got as far as to unlocking the section where I can access multiplayer. So in a week from now, I might just be like, you know, but yeah, today I'm still very happy. It is absolutely amazing that I can use my SiMagic gear on, you know, the PlayStation. I think it's fantastic. Now, SiMagic are bringing out their new Evo bases. Now, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have one of them bases. Yeah, but anyway, subscribe and I'll make it worth your while. See ya.